Hello and welcome to episode number 43 of... My name is Fraser.
And my name is Kai.
Kai, how is it June already?
Oh, you wanna know why?
Why?
Because the sun's gone round about halfway down the earth. And it's been like... Wait, no. Yes? No. The earth has gone round the sun about half.
I was going to say you've just redefined science as we know it. This is the secret that they don't want to tell you guys. Kai knows it all.
I know everything, you know. I'm smart boy.
Kai didn't get suspended on Twitter for the music. He got suspended on Twitter for just stating true scientific facts that they're not going to tell you.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I can't tell anyone about it.
Except you did, and you got suspended.
Oh no!
But still, for real, we've been in lockdown for 3 months now. Yeah. Near enough. I mean, I would have been sent home from work 3 months ago to this day. And it just feels like every day is merged into one. And I know we've said that before, but from where we've left off in spring, it doesn't make sense to me right now that we're in summer.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be making the most of it.
Yeah, and it sucks.
Yeah, I don't understand. My work is also like saying, oh, you need to take off holiday because we don't want everyone taking off holiday at the same time. How am I supposed to take off holiday?
Yeah, what are you going to do? You're going to go into your garden again? Woohoo!
Oh, wow, what a vacation.
Oh, what a party that'll be.
It just feels like such a waste. The only time I could actually take holiday and it be beneficial is if I'm going car hunting. I could take off a week and just go car hunting. That makes sense because I still haven't got a new car. But other than that, why would you want to take a week off to only be doing what I'm doing right now, sitting at home and doing sweet fuck all?
Yeah. And it sucks. And you know what? On Sunday, it is the longest day of the year.
Is it summer solstice?
Yep, 21st.
How has it reached that point already?
So that means in 7-8 weeks, it'll be autumn.
Oh, that's depressing.
Yeah,
I know it turns autumn because my birthday is always around the first day of autumn.
When does autumn start? 21st September?
It's always I think it's between the 21st and 25th of September. So basically, in my head, I say my birthday is either the last day of summer or the first day of autumn.
Yep.
That's how I've always registered it.
I think this year on the 25th, the clocks go back.
Of October?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. That's a Sunday.
I think so, yeah. Is that the last Sunday of October? That's an early one.
Yeah, that is the last Sunday of October, because the next Sunday is the 1st of November.
Gosh, that's so strange.
And you know what's really bad as well?
What's that?
On the day that I get back from Orlando, if it does happen, is our flight back is on Saturday the 24th. So I'll get back and we'll go back an extra hour. I think.
So does that? So that'll be all right then, because you'll gain an extra hour of sleep. Hours. That's not too bad.
Or 5? How does that work?
No, because you gain an hour. Wait, hold on. Do you gain or do you lose?
You gain hours when you come back. So we lose an hour from the.
You get another 2 o'clock. You get another 1 o'clock. That's it.
So we get an extra hour.
So you get an extra hour, which isn't too bad.
So we go forward 4 hours.
Yeah.
Or no, clocks change time, don't they? In America,
you'll come back, and it'll be a 6-hour difference coming back.
No. Clocks go back early in America. They don't go back on the last Sunday.
They do.
So, I guess when I go out there,
when do clocks go back in America?
I want to find this out quickly now.
This is so weird. Talking about time and stuff while Kai figures this out. Next week is the community episode.
Hey!
Feels like that's come around very quick as well.
It has.
So
because there's been nothing happening.
Literally. And you know what? I've just had a check. Last month... Actually, no, that's a bad example. The month before, so April, the last community episode was on March 25th. And then there were 4 Wednesdays in between the next community episode, 29th. Whereas here, we've had our last community episode on May the 27th. And then we've only had 3 Wednesdays in between. with this one being the third Wednesday, 17th. So the next community episode, 24th, that would be the fourth Wednesday then. So we've had less time in between. That's why it's felt like it's come around so quick. God, it's so weird. So if you want to submit a question for us to answer, feel free to do so over on our Twitter at StuckInAPodcast. Be sure to tag in myself and Kai on tweets as well. Submitting your questions, anything you'd like to find out from us, and the more unique questions, the better. As we say every single time, we're not looking for XD raw questions like, Kai, what's your favourite shape of pineapple flavour cucumber?
Yellow.
Exactly. We're not looking for those questions. We're looking for the unique questions, the ones which really stand out as good questions. We had quite a few good ones last time, didn't we?
Yes.
You can't remember, can you?
No.
I've just had a quick scroll down. We've had quite a few good ones. There was one where it was asking Kai for advice on music. There was one from the ones before where it was podcast secrets. What do you do before and after you start the podcast? How much time do you give yourself to record the podcast? And then Mark even come through and said, if you could make any genetic modification to every single human, what would you change? Questions like that, fantastic. So submit your questions to us at Stuck in a Podcast, ready for the community episode, which happens next week. And I'll be putting out a tweet about it on the weekend, so keep your eyes peeled for that.
I have found out the answer, by the way.
Yeah.
1st of November.
Oh, right. So it's literally
it starts later and ends earlier.
That's a shame. What a loss for the Americans.
Well, I think that's... I don't know. I'd rather be in the hour ahead point, because it's always I don't know, especially in the UK.
I love BST.
Yeah, me too, because it's you get more daylight.
Yeah,
you feel you're doing
at the
more.
moment, 9:30, it's still pretty bright.
Oh yeah. I was outside the other day at 10:30 and it was bright.
Yeah, I think the sun starts going down by that point, and then by 11, that's when it's dark. It's my favourite time of year.
It doesn't even get dark here now. It pretty much gets a dark blue.
The sun just never sets. You've turned into one of the polar caps.
Well, no, it gets a dark blue colour, and that's about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't get fully pitch black anymore.
Yeah, no, I get you.
When I was in Cyprus, that was really nice. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of night, because I feel you don't get much done, you know.
No.
And when it's dark so quick, it's not great. But in Cyprus, you get your sunset that it's pitch black.
Yeah.
And that's all year round, which is great. But no, it seems like Americans, they get 8th of March is when the clocks go forward this year. And the 1st November is when they go back. So they get more time of being an hour ahead than they do an hour back.
That makes sense, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, because we usually have the last Sunday in March, don't we?
Yes.
It's the last Sunday of March and the last Sunday of October. That's right, yeah. So
whereas they have Sunday, I don't know, first or second Sunday of each March and November.
So strange.
So next year apparently is Sunday the 14th of March in America is when the clocks go forward.
Sunday the 14th? Gosh, yep. And what would we be, 28th? If my maths actually works out, I think it's 2 weeks.
You want March? It'll be
28th.
the 28th.
God, here's us talking about times and stuff. Everyone's probably oh yeah, time, fantastic topic, guys.
It's interesting.
It is.
So that's actually pretty cool. I would much rather be ahead of time than behind.
100%. Let us know on Twitter what your favourite time is as well. Do you prefer the summer or do you prefer the winter? Or are you a spring and autumn person? Let us know. Tweet us at StuckInAPodcast.
I like
Talking
the
of
heat.
tweets and stuff though.
Yeah, go on.
You like what?
The heat.
I love the heat. 100%. I
So
feel
much better.
now that we've been to Orlando, the
Yeah.
heat that we've had this year is not comparable. I've been outside, my family's been oh, it's so hot. And I'm just it's quite warm.
Yeah, it's warm. It's not good enough, is it?
I love it. I want to go back to Orlando, but not this year because of all the coronavirus. But I'm so jealous of you going though. Because you have the Halloween activities.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It'll be there during the Halloween thing, and we've got tickets to Mickey's Halloween party or something like that, which means everything's open at night, and you every ride has sweets.
You're gonna dress up?
100%. But the thing is, it's you remember when we were there, and it's actually illegal to dress up in Disney costumes in Disney.
It is, unless
so I'm not too sure how it works.
Unless there's a special event like that. I
Is that
remember
what it
reading
is?
up on this in the past. Yeah, you can dress up But I think the limitation is as long as you don't have capes, anything which goes beyond your waist, because at that point you could be covering things up. Like, let's just say a gun belt,
I get that.
For example. But I think you can dress up with things that don't actually cover,
so, like,
unless
stuff
you're
like
young.
just costumes. So,
yeah, unless
like,
you're young, where you're wearing like a Disney princess dress, and it's very clear that you're not going to shoot people because you're a 5-year-old. You get the idea, though. You get the idea.
I'm meant to be flying out on the 10th of October and coming back on the 24th.
That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting to see what happens. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Anyway, as we were talking about
you said
tweets and stuff, that's it. Someone tweeted us the other day, I think it was Rosie. Rosie tweeted us saying, will you bring back another Weird Dreams segment to the podcast, because she really enjoyed it. And you know what? Yes. I had 2 dreams recently, which one is sad and the other one was so weird that it didn't really make sense, so I thought I'd write down the notes whilst don't you fucking dare change the story again. No! Right.
Don't worry, I'll change it back, there you go.
Nah, it's okay, I copy-pasted it. Oh, do you know what? I think you were right. I think you've corrected something that you changed last week, and that's actually the right thing that you corrected.
Yep.
Okay, perfect, thanks Kai, you fixed it.
It's alright.
So one of my weird dreams, and if you have any weird dreams, feel free to chip in after. One of my weird dreams was from the other week. I had a dream where I was at an old school friend's house, but for whatever reason, Kai and Aidan were also there.
Hello.
This was a school friend that they would have never met before, but we were there, and the school friend's dad was there, and the school friend's dog was there, and Kai and Aidan were there, and it was strange to just see them all in one place. Anyway, so I got the new iPhone, but for whatever reason, the screen was made out of paper. And that was quite weird, because when I would try to swipe on the screen, the paper screen would just like crease and crumple. And it would feel like, I think it was supposed to be like the new folding phone or something, but for whatever reason, the screen's made out of paper.
Right.
Anyway, it fucked up. And I got a new phone, realised that I didn't like it immediately, and it was smaller than my current iPhone 7 Plus, and also the battery was shite, so yeah, that was a bad start to the dream. Anyway, so we went out to the shopping centre to get food with my old school friend's dad. Not my old school friend, just me, you, Aidan, and his dad.
Yeah, that sounds like something we'd do, to be fair.
We'll just go out with a school friend's dad and not the school friend.
Why not? They
It's
can
so
stay in bed.
strange. Anyway, and it was weird because we were in kind of like a Chinatown-esque scene now. I'm kind of remembering the stream a little bit more now. It's like a Chinatown-esque scene. So it was like open restaurant bars and open front, open door. Dining was outside and inside with the doors fully open. So it was like a walk-in restaurant rather than something where you go in and dine. But all the places were closing because we took forever to get out. So we just managed to get into one, and we were the last people in the restaurant. But it was the weirdest restaurant there was. It was one where you sit down, you get given a menu, and then belly dancers just randomly jump on the table and start belly dancing.
I've been to this before.
Oh, you've been there?
Yeah. This
what did you think of it?
I think this was like something that actually happened in Egypt.
Really?
Kind of. I remember, I think we were in the desert, and then just belly dancers came out of nowhere.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Anyway, continue.
What, even if you have food on the table?
I don't think they went on a table. I think there was a little stage there or something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll let you off then, because my belly dancers... I say my belly dancers like I own them. No, the belly dancers in my dream, they jumped on the tables even if you have food on them.
Oh, well...
And started belly dancing.
I'll do it.
Do you want to do it?
Yeah,
Next
why
Insomnia?
Yeah!
Okay, perfect.
During the pub
I'll hold
quiz.
you to that. Fantastic. I'm going to hold you to that. It's going to happen.
Cool. Anyway, continue.
Hey Siri, remind me on August the 21st.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
Hold on, that isn't going to work, is it? It's not August the 20th. Hey Siri, remind me on August the 28th at 5 p.m. to remind Kai that he needs to belly dance on a table at the pub quiz because of my dream in June.
Okay, I'll remind you.
Thank you. Okay, so there we go.
I don't
That's
think
gonna
something's
be
going to happen, to be honest. I can't
think
see
it
it
will.
happening.
I don't think it will. And
So
if
you'll
it
just
pops
get that
up on that
voucher
day,
like in your room.
That's fine. If it pops up on that day, I'll just set it to the next Insomnia I-68.
Right,
it's gonna happen.
Cool.
Even if it is really in 10 months' time.
Yeah, we'll remember by then.
Definitely won't. I'll be like, what the fuck is this reminder?
Yeah. We've had a big falling out and we haven't spoken to each other for 10 months. And
then just all of a sudden,
just get a message from you.
Kai.
Hello!
You cold? Anyway, so we arrived at the restaurant at about 8, and by the time we got food, it was 11. And then we realised that we needed to get to the Insomnia pub quiz with my friend's dad.
God, were we belly dancing on tables?
So, yeah, we left the food with the belly dancers and we ran to the pub quiz. We realised that we didn't have the pub. We realised that we didn't have the pub quiz tickets, so we had to go get them. And Kai said that he won a gamble with a guy in a shed, so we went to the shed, as you do. You seem to know a lot of dodgy guys in sheds.
What can I say? I know my sheds. Sean is one of them.
Oh, for God's sake! Anyway. But by the time we arrived back to the shed to pick up the tickets, he closed business for the day. So we went swimming. And that's it. That was my dream. I don't know why we need to get to the pub quiz at 11 o'clock, because that means it's basically finished at that time. But we did. But we lost out and we went swimming instead. Also, sad dream last night. Some guy robbed our house, stole Peter. We found her down the road. He pretended he knew nothing about her, and then we never saw Peter again.
Oh, well, that got from happy, well done, here's your gamble in the shed, to... sorry, never going to see you again.
Sad, isn't it?
That was quite sad.
I woke up and I saw Peter this morning. I was like, oh, I had a dream that you were gone last night. I'm glad you're here. And she was happy, even though she had no idea what I was saying.
She was like, yes, treats, yes.
Yes, belly rubs. I love it when I wake up in the morning and Peter's there. She just runs over to you, like she puts her ears back into Sonic mode to run over to you. And she's like, "Oh my god, hello!" Properly wags her tail so much, then flops on the floor, demanding belly rubs whilst wagging her tail. Oh, it's fantastic! It's like the best welcome.
That's great.
Have any weird dreams recently?
I don't really dream that often.
Right, nice, thanks.
I mean, I have the odd one, but like nothing really remembering, you know?
Yeah.
And my mum has weird dreams. Like she always dreams something like bad, like her teeth are gonna fall out and stuff.
Oh, have you ever had a dream where your teeth has fallen out?
I haven't.
Oh, it's the worst dream ever. Honestly, you go to touch your mouth, and then like everything that you've touched, it just falls out onto your hand, and you feel gummy, and it's the worst. You wake up and you touch your teeth immediately, like, are they still there?
You feel gummy.
Yeah, it's the worst dream. I can sympathise with your mum.
Yeah, she has weird dreams.
That's so strange. Has anybody else had that dream? I feel like it's one that quite a few people have had in their lives. It's like with the whole you try to run but you can't run and instead you fall over dreams. Everyone has one of those dreams.
I don't think I have. I used to have
just
a lot
broken.
of like. I used to have like a lot of nightmare stuff, you know, like
Oh yeah.
You used to have like dreams where like where my grandma tried to kill me with a piano.
That just sounds like one of your dad's stories.
Yeah, it could have been real, and I dreamed it. I don't know. I've had dreams where like I think I've spoken about it in a previous episode where like a dinosaur came like crashing through our window.
That sounds familiar, yeah.
I've had dreams where there's been like tornadoes and hurricanes and stuff on the beach, and we're being like sucked in. The most I usually get nowadays is, I don't know, I probably have that one where we are falling.
I hate them. Hate them so much. Wake up with a jolt.
Yeah. But otherwise, if I ever have anything lately, it's nothing that I can remember. I remember I had like a dream where like one of my friends was in trouble or something like that, and I messaged them like the next day, like, "Hello, I had a dream and you were in it. I haven't spoken to you in like, I don't know, a year, but you were in it, and you look like you were in trouble, and you sound like you were in trouble. So I'm just here to check on you." And they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm alright, thanks. Hope you're doing good too. Thanks for checking."
Yeah, I'm alright. Your dream was right. I am in jail.
I can't remember what it was, but I remember like messaging them about it. I'm gonna see if I can find it because I messaged them on Snapchat. I don't know if we saved it or not. Turns out we did not save it. But I remember messaging them like, "Yeah, I had a dream and you were like in trouble. So just checking that you're all right.
Brilliant.
And that was like, I don't know, 6 months ago. That's probably the most exciting dream I've had in a long time.
Talking of Snapchat, though, do you know what? That's a really good segue, and we didn't even plan for this.
Go on.
Lately, I've been talking to some old school friends on Snapchat.
Yeah.
Like some people that I'd not really talked to in ages, just because I was looking through my Google Drive and I found some like old PowerPoint presentations and old screenshots and stuff. Like there's this one image that we photoshopped in class. We had this really funny teacher. He wasn't necessarily the best teacher, but he was a cool teacher. And we photoshopped him onto the body of a very hunky wrestler guy. And we put like an inspirational quote type of style to it. So, you know, like clouds, blue, and then a little like thought bubble coming off. And in the thought bubble, it says YOLO. And then the teacher's full name. And I found that and I was just like, oh my God, I remember that class. So I sent it to the people that I was in the class with. Like, oh my God, do you remember this? Because those were the best times. We would play things like Tank Trouble, which is an online Flash game.
Tank Trouble.
Such a good game. We play that during class. We do Clash of Clans as well, and Clash Royale. And we'd also play... there was another tank-like game. What was that one where you have to fire the cannon in the air and try and get it to land on the other person, the other tank? I can't remember, but it's one of those 2D side-scrolling ones where you have to get it up in the air and take into account the power of the wind and all of that. We play things like that in class. And yeah, so I talked to my friends on Snapchat, and then it reminded me, as well as the fact that I had a cold at the time, of another thing that happened in class. And it wasn't in that class, though. It was in another class in secondary school. Mm-hmm. In that class... It was a history class. I think we were in year 8 or 9. Mm-hmm. We had a supply teacher for our history class. And, oh my God, this is reminding me of another story now. This is going to be great. I'm just going to be talking, but you haven't talked that much at all. So, yeah, in this history class, it was a supply teacher. And we'd had this supply teacher before. It was always like one of those regular step-in teachers. Who would cover for this one person if they had to go out. I'm guessing it's because they're a specialist or something.
Yeah.
But this supply teacher would always pick on me. Without fail, because of the fact that my seat was just at the front of a class, and I hated being at the front of a class, that supply teacher would... it was the worst. Yeah. I hated being at the front of class, because it was just like, you have to pay attention, there's no way of you like hiding behind distractions. I was a good student, but I just hated being forced to pay attention, especially in a class like history.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this supply teacher would always pick on me and always pick on the person that sat next to me. So one day, I decided to fake losing my voice. Yeah. And so did the person sitting next to me.
Yeah.
I came into the class and I was... he would always say hi to people when you came into the class. But when I first came into the class, he said hi and I was like, hi. And he's like, oh, why are you whispering? I said, I haven't got a voice. And he's like, oh, I can't be asking you questions today. And I was like, yeah. And that was the biggest success. But do you know what the hardest part was?
Staying quiet.
Keeping up the act.
Yeah.
I had to remember that I'd, air quote, lost my voice. So if I was talking to other friends and stuff who didn't necessarily know I was pretending, if I was talking to them, I had to pretend I'd lost my voice. And I know there was a couple of times where I accidentally let slip, but the teacher didn't notice. And oh my God, that was the best day. I wish I did it more.
Great.
Yeah. Oh my God, some of them were.
I had one who looked just like a giant version of Edna Mode from The Incredibles, and like she proper acted like her as well. Not like no similar voice, but like looked like her, acted like her, and like it was just she was a hilarious teacher, and everyone was like always scared of her at first, but then she just ended up being like really chill and sweet. We had another one who was really small,
scary, but isn't actually scary.
Yeah, right. We had another one who was really small. She went and I think she went and did some like schooling work in Australia for a year.
Oh yeah,
which was pretty cool. She was great. But when you said like you fake losing your voice in history. I think I did a similar thing once, but I can't remember fully. But I think I like faked hurting my arm or something like that, so I didn't have to do PE or something. I don't know.
Everyone's done that. Everyone's done that at some point.
I mean, so bad, you know. My teacher, the teacher was like, "Well, you got one arm still." I'm like, "Yeah."
Brilliant.
I think once I actually did like proper hurt my arm though, and like she was like, You still have the other arm though?" And it was like a basketball thing. We had to go between each arm, and it's like, yeah, I can barely do it on one arm, let alone two arms. I could actually do it on both arms. I was pretty good at PE. Just didn't like it that much. But I remember when I first started my secondary school, there was a teacher that everyone said was the worst teacher ever, who ended up being the best teacher ever. But we only had her for the year, because then she retired after that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But she was amazing. When she thought I was a girl.
Of course.
She was sitting everyone boy girl in the lesson, and she thought I was a girl.
She sat next to a mate.
Oh, she sat everyone next. She sat everyone boy girl, and then I got to sit next to my friend Jack.
Brilliant.
And everyone was like, "Oh my god!" And there was like one person who kept falling asleep in the lesson. Who sat next to Jack. Eventually, I think there was someone else next to him at first, and then they switched because the two of them kept talking or something like that. So they switched seats, and they kept falling asleep next to Jack, and she was just fine with it, because she was like, "Oh, he must be tired. It's okay." Like, she was proper, like, amazing teacher. Strictest voice ever. Her name was Miss Kilpatrick. Yeah.
God, that sounds like a strict name.
Yeah, she was a really strict teacher. Like, right, listen up, and whatever else, you know. She had that sort of voice as well. But we had a parents' evening once, and when we came in, I'm pretty sure she'd been drinking.
Brilliant.
Because she was like, "Oh, don't worry, everyone thinks I'm a silly old cow," or something like that to my mum and dad. It was amazing. But really, you know, I'm just trying to make them learn, and it's how I do it and stuff like that. It was like, yeah.
What a teacher.
And I remember once we had this project or something like that, where we had to like make a city, basically. We had to like explain it and like present it in front of the class. I didn't prepare for it that well, I'll be honest, so I was like winging it. And I think I like had the idea of like a few things on it, and she called me up to do it, and I was like, oh my god, I was kind of hoping that I'd miss it, because it was near the end of the day. And I remember there was this one line where I just didn't know what to call one guy, and she was like, "So what's this guy's name then?" And I was like, Jesus. And everyone just burst out laughing, because it had nothing to do with what he looked like or anything like that. Like, Jesus.
Brilliant.
I think it was like a religious thing that we were having to do, like make your own religion. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to call him Jesus. He doesn't look like a Jesus at all. And she was like, what does he do? And I was like, well, he's Jesus. He does what Jesus does, Jesus, and whatnot. And everyone just burst out laughing for like the rest of the day, and it was amazing. And I got a student of the lesson thing for that.
Well done.
For winging my whole project. I mean, to be fair, I think I winged all my projects in school.
Oh god, talking of winging things though. I
didn't actually go in that often, because I didn't. I mean,
what was your attendance like?
Oh, awful.
Oh.
Like I remember I stayed home for like a month at one point.
Oh god.
And but I still I don't know, I did well. I tend to like learn my own things, if that made sense. Like I wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy science that much. I love science, but I didn't enjoy it because the teachers were shite, basically.
Yeah.
I think there was 2 good teachers, and they wouldn't ever give them to me, even if I asked, like, right, I'm not learning enough in this one. Can I go to a different one? They're like, nah. But I remember I wasn't in for like a month towards the. I can't remember. I think it was in like the first year and the second year I was fine. Then the third and fourth I kind of like started to slip a bit, but I still passed everything, no problem. You know, I did all right.
Talking of bad teachers, though, there was this really one bad supply teacher that we had. Actually, you know what? I don't think they were a supply teacher. They were a student teacher, but they weren't good. They were like really, really bad.
Right.
And yeah, it's in PSHE, which is the subject which everybody hates, and it's always like
just a waste of time.
Literally. Well, for real life things, it was useful, but it was the stuff that you really weren't interested in at the age of whatever ages you are at sixth form.
Well, it's before sixth form as well, isn't it?
Not sixth form, secondary school, sorry.
So you'd be 12 to 16.
Something along those lines.
Yeah,
Anyway, so nobody really liked that teacher. And he set us on an assignment one day that we needed to pretend that we're the leader of each country. And we had to debate on something and come up with a solution. So we all did the research based on the countries that we were assigned. And then he said, right, for your homework that's due in for a presentation the next day, you all need to do something. I can't remember what it was. And there was about a class of about, we'll say 25 to 30. Mm-hmm. And one person did it. So when we came into the next lesson, and the teacher was like, right, we're going to start a debate now. And this first person had to read out what they'd done. They said, I'm sorry, I forgot to do it. Then they went to the next person. I also forgot to do it. They said, right, raise your hand if you've done it. One person raised their hand. The rest of that lesson was sat in silence.
That's alright, to be fair. That's a bit of a bonus.
Obviously, I felt bad for not doing it, but it was just like, it was a massive amount of work for one day. It was a huge amount of work for one day.
I always hated homework because it's a big waste of time, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, that, and it was PSHE.
Yeah.
And, I had other important homeworks to do.
Yeah. I remember our English teacher and our maths teacher... No, our English teacher in school used to set us homework twice a week.
Yeah.
And if we didn't get something done because there's so many other things, they'd have a go at us. And our geography teacher used to set us probably one every 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
And he was fine. He was fine because if someone hadn't done it, he was like, look, I know there's so much that you've got to do at the moment, especially towards exam season when they start sending you thousands of things. He's like, look, you've done the work before, research what you've done. That's all he would say all the time. And when it came to holidays as well, teachers for some reason love to send you homework during your holidays, which kind of defeats the purpose of school holiday because it's a holiday from school.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, great, thank you. Our geography teacher was the guy that would be like, look, you need a break, I need a break. I'm not sending you any homework over this holiday.
Good teacher.
All the time. He was an alright teacher, to be fair. No one really liked him.
Bad
and I was alright with him because he was just generally quite calm. And he would always stick on David Attenborough for the hour lesson.
Right, yeah.
And that would basically be our lesson.
Not bad.
Which is
good lesson,
really
to
good.
Be honest.
It's much better to listen to David Attenborough teaching you stuff than, a teacher.
100%. And it was videos. Anything to not do work, just to watch videos, fine by me.
Oh, he was always take some notes and stuff. And hardly anyone ever took notes. But,
Yeah,
I mean, geography was... I like geography for the sake of we got to watch things.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was a bit near.
I enjoyed geography. It was one of those that I was going to take at A-level, but I couldn't because it clashed with other subjects.
I hate that. What? I hate the stuff that you want to do clashes with other things, I wanted to do art, but it clashed with film. I wanted to do... Because I'm decent at art, I like to think.
Yeah.
When I actually get around to doing it. I wanted to do that, but it clashed with film. I wanted to do ICT, but it clashed with Spanish. Didn't want to do Spanish. I tried to change it and ended up doing both Spanish and ICT. I changed PE for ICT. Didn't do PE as a level, but I stopped doing PE and went to do ICT instead. And there was something else which I can't remember fully, but I hate that when stuff clashes, because it's you want to do this? Tough.
I think for me it was either if you want to do geography, you have to get rid of music, and you have to
that was another one, yeah. Music,
and you have to get rid of IT. And I was like, that's literally the two top subjects I want. So I had to get rid of geography.
Sucks.
Yeah,
I would love
which
to
was a
do
shame
music
because they went on some pretty cool trips. to places where there was erosion.
God,
But it's a
lucky
day out
you.
though, wasn't it?
You wanna know where I went?
Where'd you go?
5 minutes down the road to the beach.
That's
On
the
a
only
day
problem with you
where I
being
was
in a
really
very...
sick,
Oh no, even worse.
and like I was forced on it because otherwise I wouldn't be able to do the coursework.
Saying that, there was one really cool geography trip when obviously I wasn't doing GCSEs for it. Where we all went to a mine in Wales.
Oh,
I think
that's cool.
it was in Wales, and it was a proper old-fashioned coal mine where there was a museum there, as you can see everything that went on in that coal mine, and then there was a trip down inside the dodgy lift that the miners used to use, and we were inside actual real mines, and it was something else. It's really weird being like deep underground with like
Past the bedrock.
there's no echo or anything. It's literally the definition of no one can hear you scream from down here.
Ah, that's all right.
That there was no echo. It was just like you walked into a little cave,
Wait,
and it
pause
was
for a
like
sec. Pause for a sec.
okay.
I'm still recording. No thanks. Sorry. Kept asking if I wanted a drink, and if I didn't respond, he'd ask again.
Brilliant. And it was one of those where you walk into a cave system and it would be like the best acoustics in the world. Like it would be a noise cancellation guru's dream. You'd walk in, you'd speak, and it'd be the most dampened noise ever.
See, that sounds really cool. I think the best
it's really
trip that I ever
interesting.
got was we were on sports day,
Oh yeah.
and went to Thorpe Park the next Halloween.
Oh, Thorpe Park's fantastic. We went there with school as well.
It is. But we only went that once, and that was probably the best trip we did. Otherwise, the only other trips we had was trying to think, what else trips did we have in secondary school? We went to some castle in London or something. I can't remember if it was London. It was near London or something.
Did you ever go to another country?
What, with the school?
Yeah.
Yeah, that I paid for.
Oh yeah, of course, same.
Went to Belgium for the day.
Ooh, not bad.
But that was for history, to go to like Yeeps and stuff for World War One memorial. I'm guessing it was because it was 2014, so it was 100
God, you're just
years
an hour
later.
away from Dover, so that's not too bad for you.
Yeah, it was quite a quick trip, to be honest. I think it was like 2-hour coach to get to
For us, we
Belgium.
went to northern France, and obviously being from Bristol, I think it was like a 4 or 5 hour coach trip to Dover.
Yeah,
And then obviously the extra hour, 2 hours in northern France after the ferry.
I don't
that
think
was-
we went on the ferry, to be honest. I think we went on the Eurostar.
Oh, even better.
Well,
Yeah, I was
not
gonna.
really.
That would make
The
sense
ferry's
for
so
a day
much better.
trip. Yeah, it was pretty cool, to be honest.
Ferry, you
There
get
was
to like
this-
chill out and stuff on the sofas and whatnot, you know?
Yeah, and go out on deck and just be like, "Oh my god, it's so windy out here!" As if
Yeah.
you're surprised that you're in a very big windy area whilst out in the middle of the sea.
Whereas on this Eurostar train, you've either got to sit on the train, like not on the train. It was like on the so you're in the car part of it. So the coach has gone into it's parked up in there whilst
Yeah.
it goes underneath right through the tunnel and whatnot. So you're sat either in the coach, or you can go and walk outside onto the outside of the
Parking
coach,
area.
basically.
Yeah.
And that was it. And like, there's not really much air down there, so it's not great.
That sucks.
It's a bit crappy, and you basically go outside just so you're off the coach.
That's a bit sucky.
But I went to France and Italy with my school for a trip.
God, you went quite a few places then. I literally only went northern France. That was another country.
Well, that was
Unless
like
you want to
a
class Wales as another country. It technically is, but
Yeah,
it's too close for it to be considered a trip for me. Like a proper away trip.
I think that one cost us like 500 quid or something like that.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. I think it was for 9 days, maybe 10.
Oh, bargain.
But it was one of those ones where you have to like, I don't know, you had to sleep in the tent. You had like some pretty crap food provided to you every night.
Right.
And in the morning and whatnot. I mean, it was a good trip in terms of what it was. Nice to like see things, but it was like to the south of France, so you get your like 11-hour coach trip to the south of France, which was
Yeah.
because I think we set off like quite early in the morning, or like it might have been late at night. I think we set off late at night, and then when we got there, It was like we stopped a few times. We had a McDonald's breakfast on the way as well.
Oh,
at like 6 in the
trip.
morning. And that was like that was in France as well, so you had to like try and translate the machine into English basically to work out what you're going to get.
Highlight of the trip.
To be fair, you're not wrong. That and a shopping centre. And I think it was an Italian shopping centre or a French shopping centre. But
we went to a shopping centre as well. I wonder if it was the same shopping centre. They have an arcade on like the top floor.
Nah, definitely not. This is just one like
a cool one then.
It was like a big Tesco sort of thing with like 2 floors.
Oh,
3 floors.
Right, okay. Now there was like a mall on the way back that we went to, and it had it was a huge mall, and on the top floor there was an arcade, and we all went there, and then there was like a sweet shop like just opposite it. So we went there, and I just bought like God knows how many sweets to take home, using the remaining euros I had.
We didn't really have any freedom on that trip, unfortunately. I think we were too like they kind of like made us do things all the time.
Yeah,
especially if we didn't want to do it. Like there were some activities and stuff where it was just really crap. But I mean, I think my best, like the most fun trip we had was when I was in primary school. I think it's primary school.
Yeah.
Whatever the middle one is, the one where you're like whatever to 11, 8 to 11.
Yeah.
Or something. We went to France for a week, I think.
In primary school.
Yeah.
God.
No, I think it was 5 days or something, you know? But it was like a PGL holiday or something like that. So
right.
You basically go out and you have rotated activities for 4 days. They make you a sandwich and whatnot.
Oh, was that like in year 6?
Yeah.
It was like your final trip before you leave.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, alright, yeah. We had something similar then, where it's like rotated activities, but it wasn't in another country. It's probably because you're so close to France anyway, like you get phone signal.
I think you usually either go to
radio.
Devon, or you go to... No, not Devon. You either go to the Isle of Wight or France, I'm pretty sure. And they used to rotate it between our years. So our year luckily got to go to France, because I didn't want to go to Isle of Wight.
Nice.
But we did activities like in this camp sort of area. And like in the forest and whatnot, and when we had like different rooms where we had 4 beds I think in the room. I think they were bunks, and our room had 3 people because someone dropped out I think. And I remember on the last 2 days were the best days because we went into actual like proper Paris. We went to a market. We went on a boat ride as well around France. We went through like a bunch of things. We went up the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, nice.
We didn't even have to queue for it that much. I think we had to queue for like 10 minutes.
Oh, I want to go up the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, it's good. It's good. We didn't get to see it at night though, unfortunately, because we had to go back to the like cabins, I guess.
Yeah.
And then on our final day, we went to Disneyland.
Pretty cool.
And then from Disneyland, we took the coach back to the school.
God, that sounds loads better than the one I did.
Yeah, I think it might be.
The one I did was just like, it was an activity centre called Mill on the Brew, and you can Google that, and I'm just looking at it now, and I'm just like, oh my god, I recognise that place.
Mill on the
Brew. It looks slightly different now, because there was a massive hill, but it looks like that massive hill's now been flattened, possibly, or changed into something else, which you can't actually sit on. Anyway, yeah, it was a really cool place. It definitely looks like
something similar.
Yeah, it was so nice. You could do like water rafting, you could create your own raft, and you would go along the river on that. Kayaking, there was a slip and slide, which was like the most hyped thing, where they would literally turn the hill into a slip and slide and get kids basically thrown down there. Not like literally they threw kids down there, but you know, you go down the slip and slide and it was the best thing. There was also like activities like stack up the crates and get as high as you can, climb up the tower, jump from the top of it onto like this bar and see if you can grab it. And then there's also like evening activities, like you go and cook your own. I think we just did like things like boiled egg on a campfire, just an easy one. And little just like we created the fire ourselves, mind. We had to get our own sticks, and then they gave us a flint and steel, and we had to strike the fire ourselves. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that was in year 6.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, oh god, it was a really cool activity centre, and I'm looking at it now, and I'm just like, oh my god, I remember that place. I remember sleeping in that room there. I remember that was the restaurant, and I remember that back there was the disco area.
Oh, that sounds great.
It was a cool place. I liked it.
I found mine, and actually I'm looking at it, and it's not the best area.
Right.
I did remember. I remember it being really cool though, because it was like first like trip away without your family and whatever else, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like quite cool. It's like with the school, so you're with your friends all the time.
Yeah.
But I remember there was one thing when I went to France and Italy with my secondary school year, which was the worst thing ever.
What was that?
I'd had like no sleep. We were in France, and we had to kayak about 13 miles or 15 miles or something like that. Yeah.
Oh.
With someone else in your boat. So I had my friend Charlie, and back then he was very lazy.
Yeah.
So basically I was doing the whole thing on my own for like a huge portion of it, and I was like, oh my god. And like he was a heavy guy. So to pull his weight along as well, it's not like he's heavy, but he's taller, he's got a bit more weight than me. I was quite a skinny kid back then, so like pulling him along on it, god, that was a nightmare. And when you get there, time of your life, you get a campfire and whatnot, and you get like a shower if you want to, and all this other stuff. But you had to bring your backpack and your kayak. So if your kayak topples over, everything you have gets wet.
Oh no.
And luckily ours didn't. I made sure it didn't, because I was like, I'm not getting my stuff wet. I'm pretty sure I had my phone on me, so I could like take some pictures of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that was a great idea. But then when we got to this part, so we did 15 miles and it was tiring. I had to keep saying to Charlie, there's food up ahead. When we get there, we get food, because he was like obsessed with food.
Yeah.
So I kept saying, Charlie, there's food. Come on. And I pushed him for like the final two or 3 miles or something like that, because there was food at the end, quote unquote. And there wasn't.
Oh my god.
So it wasn't for like another 3 hours. And
he must have hated you by the end of that.
He did. But the worst thing is, that's only halfway.
Did you have to make a return journey?
No, we had to go further.
Oh no.
But like we had to stop for the night. So it was getting dark, so we stopped for the night at this halfway point, 15 miles on. And I think the last day was like 9 miles or something like that, not 15. So 6 miles less. Woohoo. I mean, it's great looking back on it, but it was a lot of hard work for when you're like that young, you know?
Yeah, no surprise. That's insane.
But when you get there, they have this thing where you're like sleeping under the stars. It didn't rain, luckily.
Yeah.
But you're basically sleeping on this hill. So you're falling down the whole night, basically. Like, you're slipping down. And you're in a sleeping bag. And you're basically rolling on top of each other as well.
That's hilarious.
And I remember I woke up on the complete opposite side of where my friend was. Or where Charlie was, even. So he'd somehow either gone over the top of me, or I got over the top of him. In our sleeping bags. Or both, yeah. And that was great. And then the last, like, 8 miles we managed to do. I think it was 8. It must have been 8. I think it was like a 27-mile trip or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably something like 8. I think the first one might have been 18 miles, and then the next one would have been 8 or something. I can't remember. I remember we had like a small stop off after on the first part as well, to have like some lunch, and then we continued onwards afterwards.
Yeah.
But the last bit wasn't so bad. But again, I had to make up the excuse like, try his ice cream at the end. You like ice cream? Let's go. Come on. And like pushed him for the last 2 miles. We could see the coach from like, there's this long strip afterwards. Could see the coach, and it's like, Charlie, look, there's the coach. Come on. We're gonna do it. Ice cream. There was actually ice cream, luckily, as well.
Oh, nice.
But you had to buy it.
Say, I'm surprised he would have fell for it. Other than if you went there and you didn't have any ice cream.
He fell for everything. All right.
Brilliant.
But it was so good, like getting through that, because then we get like on the bus and back to our camp, and then the next day we go to Italy and whatnot, and it's like, oh, so good. Italy was so nice.
Nice.
And I want to go back to Italy eventually.
Do it. Let's go.
But like we didn't get to it to like proper Italy, you know. We went to like some like mainly like a forested area.
Oh, so like you haven't seen Rome and all of that?
No, we only saw like a tree and a small castle.
Cool. When this is all over it, we're gonna go.
All right. Wonderful.
Nice.
I'm actually probably proper down. Love to go to
It's
Italy
happening
again.
then.
Sweet.
And oh yeah, that's it. I was gonna say something else. which was about my Mill on the Brewer activity centre place.
Go on.
There was 2 other like really massive highlights up. Actually 3, but one of them's very quick. One of them was I snuck in jammy dodgers into my sleeping bag when we're not supposed to bring snacks, but I snuck in jammy dodgers.
Nice.
The second one, as you do, it was a good thing that I did that because it was the best snack I had. The second thing was there was this massive. Oh my god! Zip line. That's it. Massive zip line.
Oh, I love
that
zip
spanned
lines.
from one side of the entire complex to the other side of the entire complex. Fantastic. And the third thing was that there was this massive agility course. Where each team would try it at some point during the day throughout the week, and then at the end there was a massive competition to see who could get through the agility course the quickest.
Nice.
And it was like, I don't think I won, but I did it. It was one of those where, imagine Tough Mudder, but Kids Edition.
What's Tough Mudder?
Tough Mudder is like, it's a race, but it's done solely in mud, in dirt, and purposely to get you muddy. And it's activities like we have to jump into like a massive pit full of muddy water, and you purposely have to get muddy whilst doing this whole agility course.
I hate that.
But it was fun. The only nightmare part of it was showering.
Oh. Was it like a cold shower or something?
And it was a communal cold shower. No private showers. It was communal.
Oh.
I didn't like that. I was the last one in the shower every single day.
You know what? Before we end off, yeah?
Yeah.
When I was in Turkey, when I was young, we had a Turkish mud bath, which is where you get into the mud, basically, and it helps your skin, apparently.
What?
Yeah, it's weird. You basically you go in your underwear, or like you go in with your, like, say swimming trunks or something like that. Probably underwear, I think it's more. And you get in the mud, put it basically all over you, on your face and whatnot as well. And apparently it helps your skin. Yeah?
I'd be more concerned about the mud going up my bum crack. That's not someone I was expecting to ever say on a podcast.
But when you get out afterwards, you go and have a shower. Me and my mum, we went to the showers and they were freezing. Yeah, because it's like mountain water that they're using for the showers. So we thought we'd skip it because there's a really nice hot spring right next to it that you get into afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm probably like 9, 10 maybe.
Yeah.
So we try and sneak over, and this guy with a giant hose goes, "No!" and he just turns it on, and I fly across the floor, right? Because the power of this hose, like, he fully like smacks me with it, and I fly across the hose, across the floor because of this hose, and then he turns it off, and he's like, "Okay," and
sounds like a scene from a cartoon.
Oh, proper! I wish we could have filmed it back then. But you know what? If we go to Turkey eventually, which I'm proper down for as well, because it's so nice, we'll go to Turkish mud bath.
Right,
we'll go.
Brilliant.
We'll go to a Turkish bathhouse as well, because they're like brutal.
Right, so we've got about like 5 holidays planned now.
Yeah, and
looking forward to it.
I mean, seriously, it's horror. Make sure you have a shower. A note to self, to anyone, before you get into this hot spring after a Turkish mud bath, because oh my god, you do not want to get hit by that hose, because it's even colder than the showers.
You don't want a Turkish man to whack you with his hose.
Yes.
We'll leave it on that. Thank you so much for listening to this very weird ending, if you got the weird thing. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of... Let us know if you want to go to a Turkish mud bath, and let us know if you get showered by a big hose.
Yep.
Remember to tweet us questions for the community episode next week at Stuck in a Podcast.
Are you sure it's next week?
It is 100%. Look at your calendar.
Oh yeah, 24th.
100%. Yeah, and obviously go follow us on our personal accounts as well, at FraserIRL and at Kai Ross-Best. Obviously follow us on Spotify as well. We are very close to 400 Spotify followers.
Are we?
We are. We're very close.
Would you look at that?
So be sure to follow, and obviously share the podcast with your friends. This is apparently a good cure for lockdown loneliness. said someone at one point who I forgot what it was. So thank you to that person.
Bonus, thank you.
Yes. That's all I have to say.
Well, with that said, I'm going to go to Tesco. So thanks for listening. Get your shopping. Stay safe.
So that's what that note was.
Yeah.
Right,
I do need to go
makes
to
sense.
Tesco tonight, so.
Okay, thanks for listening, and enjoy your Turkish mudbath.
Yeah, hose it, bitch.
Bitch.